field here at Osseo High School. Week 3 of the prep football season here tonight. It's the Champlin Park Rebels making the short trip over here to take on the Osseo Orioles. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, and we welcome back Bill Hunstock, a longtime commentator for us tonight. And Bill, it's kind of a tale of 2 weeks for both of these teams here.
Absolutely.
Osseo at 0-2, but they really felt like they could have beat Coon Rapids last week. Just a few big plays that didn't go their way. They felt like overall they played a much better game than they had in the first week.
Yeah, they really did. They got manhandled the first week, and they really put things together last week. They had a couple of unfortunate plays, turnover in the end zone and a kickoff return for a touchdown, 95 yards. They really pushed them back, and yet they only lose by 4 points. So they're a competitive group. They just have to solidify and figure out what they're doing.
Meanwhile, for Champlin Park, they were very disappointed with their opener against Anoka. They lost that one to their biggest rival, but come back next week with a comeback win over defending state champ Maple Grove. A huge win for them.
A huge win. And they actually had a very nice game. They controlled things on the line of scrimmage a good portion of the game, even though it was a 1-point win. It seemed that Champlin Park had the edge most of the game. And that's a big deal coming against a Maple Grove team that had 14 consecutive wins.
Let's talk about key players to look at in today's game, starting with the Rebels, a guy who will excel in the backfield. He'll also play in the defensive backfield. Yep. Arthur Russell, good athlete for their team.
He's a good all-around athlete. The coaching staff really likes him. He's got a great attitude. He's a very, very good running back, and with the type of offense that Champlin Park uses, he's a key feature in that. But not only does he play running back, and he's a very good running back, he plays in their secondary, and he's a quality secondary guy. He's not a huge guy, but he is a good athlete, and he's a good all-around football player.
And for Osseo, we're going to talk about one of their defensive leaders. Not one of their bigger guys by any means, but Temi Donato as a corner. He'll be asked to do some things in the pass game and the run game.
Yeah, Donato is a good all-around defensive back. He plays very strong at the corner. He's going to have his handful tonight because Champlin Park's got a couple of guys that are 6'2", 6'3", and he's like 5'7" or 5'8", so he's going to be physically at a little bit of a disadvantage. But he plays very strong, and he's a very aggressive player, so that will make up for a lot of things.
All right, these teams haven't been meeting recently in a couple of years, but now they're back at it. It's the Rebels and the Orioles up next.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
Champlin Park won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they will kick off to begin the game as Trace Fitzgerald will boot it away back deep to receive for Osseo. Andrew Farley, number 1, and number 6, Jet Firavong. Jet, not a bad name for a returner, right, Bill?
Not at all. Not at all. He gets the name of the week this week.
Fitzgerald will boot it away here, and it's going to come to the up man. Taking it at the 20-yard line there is Kalen Blanchette, and he'll be out over the 30 to about the 33-yard line, where Osseo will start with its first possession. The junior Taven Smith quarterbacking the Orioles. They're a little bit banged up. They've got a couple of guys that normally would have been seeing some time handling the football that will not be in there this evening, just trying to get healthy here. Got a big offensive line, and Champlin Park's kind of expecting that. The Orioles will try and pound it at them a little bit. So here we go, 1st and 10, Osseo's first possession. Smith, the lefty, going to throw right away, and it is complete as he able to find his big tight end, Travis, there. Jamison Travis. And that one will be good for a first down, 10 yards on the nose. So they come out throwing on that first down.
Good call.
Yeah, and just kind of a safe little play, too, to get them into their offense a little bit. Big target out there, obviously.
Yeah.
Go with a little bit of a counter look here and a pretty decent gap to run through there. Out close to midfield for the Orioles goes Lance Quia.
Quia does a nice job of finding the seam and getting in there, getting a 6-yard gain.
Football resting at Osseo's 49 as they try and start the game in style here, and so far so good at the first down completion and then that nice 6-yard run up the middle. And off to Quia again here into Rebels territory. Brought down there for Champlin Park by Jalen Graham. Going to be just shy of the first down. He got about 3 of the 4 yards he needed there, looks like.
Yeah, one of the linebackers for Champlin Park, number 40, Matthew Heinen. We want to keep an eye on him. He's a very aggressive linebacker. Had a really good game last week against Maple Grove.
And the keeper will be easily enough for the first down here, as Smith just gets in behind that big O-line and will pick up about 3. Coach Stockhouse was saying that Smith's a good runner, but we kind of want to have him take a few less hits than what he's been. He's a big, tall, lean quarterback, and this time tucks his body in there. And if your line fires off hard, that's a very difficult play to stop when they only need a yard.
Yep.
So at the 46 of Champlin Park, nice early start here for Osseo on this first drive. Go with the sweep left side this time, and Quia will pick up about 3 or 4. So you look at the starters here. Osseo on the right, Champlin Park on the left. Going to look to run it this time, but well defended. Brady Schornstein coming up to meet him and then got some help as well. So no gain on that one for Smith. Rebels defense trying to step up here after, I wouldn't say they've quite been gashed, but giving up some ground here, certainly on this first possession so far.
Giving up a couple of first downs. I don't know if Osseo thinks they're in 4-down territory yet, but if they come up with 4th and short, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go.
Yeah, I would agree. It really depends on if they get anything on this 3rd down play. Smith under a heavy rush gets it out, and it is complete, and that'll be enough for the first down as he is able to find Farley just in front of the D-back. Got himself sat down nicely there, turned and looked that one in.
Yeah, nice catch by number 1 Farley. A little bit of pressure on Smith, but he gets the ball out there in good order. And Farley does a nice job of bringing that thing in. Another first down. That's a 3rd first down for Osseo.
Football now at the 33 of Champlin Park. Smith rolling left, and runs into trouble out there on the edge as he was met there by the Rebels' Ashton Kapitsky.
Yeah, the Rebel flank players, Kapitsky particularly, they're outside linebacker, almost strong safety types. But against the run, they're going to be coming up hard off the outside flank there. And that time he got into the offensive backfield untouched and was able to make a 5-yard loss on Smith.
Pretty well defended again that time, as Fairvong taking the carry there. He'll get back some of that yardage lost on the first play, but Isaiah Wright ranging out to drag him down at the 35.
Third and really long here, 3rd and 12 for Osseo. So this is one of the first big important plays of the game for Osseo here.
Smith, a straight drop back, now steps up, and he was hit as he threw, and it'll fall way short as Jalen Graham got in and pressured him there. And so now 4th and long, and you probably, even though it's a long distance to go, I don't know that they really want to punt from here. There's a look at Graham getting free, and
Smith kind of got sandwiched there. Yep. His own guy got pushed right back into him. He couldn't get anything on the ball. So they're going to go for it on 4th and 12.
He's going to throw down deep, but incomplete there, looking for Travis. And it'll fall incomplete. I think after the pressure on the previous couple, he was thinking, and the clock in his head was like, I got to get this out of here. And they weren't quite on the same page as far as route or depth of route, I think, there. And a good first drive for Osseo.
Yeah, good possession. They used up, 5.5 minutes, 6.5 minutes on the 5.5 minutes on the clock. So that's a nice start. It's hard to give up points when your opponent's offense is not on the field.
Preston Tilke will come out to lead this Champlin Park offense. The 6'4 junior. He was last year had sit out with an injury after doing well early. They're going to go with a little toss out to Russell, getting to the edge. Slips through the first tackle and then is met and brought down there for the Orioles by Gary Holloway. And that'll be a pickup of 5 for Russell.
And the outside linebacker had a good angle on that. That was Philip Say. Just didn't make the tackle is all he missed on.
Tilke looking to throw, firing over the middle, and let's see, is this a completion and then fumble, or what looks as though it is going to be? I don't know why Osseo guys didn't jump on that football. They're going to call it a catch and then a fumble, and Osseo will have it at Champlin Park will have it at the 40.
Yeah, that's probably just an inexperienced play there. You've got to play the ball live until you hear the whistle. You cannot. That was an easy fumble recovery for Osseo right there. But the defender thought it was an incomplete pass. You can't be thinking.
Luke Gilk had the catch. Here's Russell bouncing into the outside, slips through a tackle. Ooh, and then he is collared up high there and thrown down by Billy Russell. But another nice gainer there for Champlin Park as he'll rip off, 11 or so, maybe 12. Yeah, they'll spot at the 29, so 11-yard pickup there for Arthur Russell. Just that little shiftiness on the first guy.
Yeah, he makes a nice sideways move, sideways jump cut, and just dances right out of the arms of the defender. That's a nice move.
So football at the Osseo 29 now for Tilke and the Rebels offense. Now he's going to tuck it and go. Oh, and a nice open field stop there. Coming up to get him is Mikhail Anderson. Tilke's a pretty good runner, too. He's been effective in the run game. That time he stopped for no gain, so not going to be a sack, just no gain on a rush. But that was a really nice tackler. He had a little bit of room to do something if he got beyond that first guy.
Yep.
This time going to roll him right. Telke will step up and run it. Quite a bit of room up the middle, and he'll be down to inside the 20 to near the 16-yard line. Dion Ricks with the stop.
And nice run by Telke there to get the first down.
Rebels looking as though they're going to go hurry up a little bit here and trying to keep Osseo. Now Telke's being told he has to leave the field. I don't know. Did he lose the helmet on that last play? That's the only thing
I don't know what, or he was holding his hand. I don't know if the referee said, no, you got to leave the field to. And
now, understandably, Champlin Park's going to use a timeout as they had to throw another quarterback in late there and didn't want to. Didn't want to do that. So be football at the Osseo 16. 1st and 10 coming up with 4:10 to go here in this first quarter. You can see what happens as he rolls right here, steps up inside the outside edge, and then gets brought down. And I don't know if the official was under the impression that he was hurt there or.
Yeah, I don't know if there was some kind of a. I noticed it when he got over on the sideline. He was messing with his uniform, so I don't know if there's a uniform issue for him or not. But he's going to have to sit out one play.
Jack Coette is in there at the quarterback slot here, the sophomore. And you're going to hand it off to Russell. Nice little cutback there, although the pursuit gets to him about the 11-yard line here, maybe 12. So a 4-yard pickup for Russell, and as expected, Telke will come right back in. I think it seemed a pretty safe bet that when you had to throw in your second guy that, hey, how about we just give it to Arthur Russell here, right? I wasn't surprised to see that.
No, not at all. Give it to your workhorse.
And Telke will run it, and he is tripped up. As Anderson reaching out and getting a piece of the leg there, and it'll stop him. Let's see where they're going to mark him down here. Just inside the 10. So 3rd and a long 3 here for Champlin Park, but I think definitely in 4-down territory here.
Absolutely.
As they have answered Osseo's pretty solid first drive with a good one of their own, but they're looking to finish with points. Hand it off to Russell. A little jump cut there, but then too much pressure coming. No way to escape from the rest of that as Spencer Payne trying to drag him down there and then got plenty of help as well, and that'll be a short loss on that play. In a different spot on the field, you might be able to get away with that, come into a stop like he did, but there's just too many bodies there at that point, as you see right there. Trying a little stiff arm and then just slipped a little bit too.
It was very good pursuit, particularly the inside linebackers filling that running lane and taking it away from Russell.
So here we go, 4th down. Telke firing too high out to the outside. A little stop route there for Deshaun Sturdivant, but he just got a little too excited and threw it over his head. So the Osseo defense bends but doesn't break as they hold Champlin Park at right around the 10-yard line here. This was here, definitely, and that's one Preston would like to have back. As I don't think they were going to get the touchdown, but they could have definitely been in position to get that first down, and he just airmailed it over his head.
And that's a tough one. We're talking with both of the coaching staffs. Both of these quarterbacks are new. They're both juniors, and they're both starters for the first time in their careers. So they're still learning about themselves and the team and what they need to do and everything. And I think both quarterbacks have played well so far.
Hand off left side, and Quia on the carry here, and Heinen on the stop. And I was going to say, it almost looked like both guys were slow to get up here. Quia looks like he's hurt. Got a couple on the play.
I wonder if he took a shot in the rib cage. Oh, his ankle. All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Heinen fell on the back of his ankle, and it really...
Yeah.
And then their legs were tangled up, so they trying to get untangled, and meanwhile, a lot of pain involved there as well. And those are just one of the kind of things that there's not really anything you can do to prevent that. It just happened. It's not a dirty tackle or anything like that either. He just fell on him as he was in the process of bringing him down.
And that's a classic mechanism for high ankle sprain, and that's just really tough. It was a good play by the defense.
Well, and we mentioned too that Osseo is already nicked up in terms of ball carriers, so not what they wanted here, to have another injury to, this time to the junior Lance Quia. So pretty good start offensively for both of these teams, driving the ball, and then the defense is coming up with stops when needed as well. So with a little over 2 to go in this first quarter, we are still at zeros, with Osseo facing a 2nd and 8 at their own 12-yard line after stopping Champlin Park on downs. Quia gets to his feet, but not putting any weight at all on that right leg.
Yeah, that's a uncomfortable injury. Getting your foot pinned down and body rotated over it, the ankle just doesn't move that direction.
There's Ryan Stockhouse, the Osseo head coach, and he's he found a lot to like about last week, but just some of the big plays they didn't execute. Smith rolling out in, he's in trouble, and Heinen brings him down. Let's see, they're going to say he was just outside the end zone, about a half yard or maybe a yard from being a safety there, as Heinen able to drop him for a loss.
Again, we're talking with Coach Keenan about Matthew Heinen, is that he's really worked hard at finding what they call the open window, and when he sees an open window, meaning a space in the line of scrimmage, he attacks it. And more often than not, he attacks it and he comes through into the offensive backfield and is there to make a play.
So now Osseo in a tough spot here. Smith will throw out of his end zone, looking deep downfield, and incomplete for Farley. And now they'll be forced into a punting situation from their own end zone, which this is where, the field position part of things come into play.
Yeah.
Travis, the big tight end, is their punter as well. Russell and Schornstein waiting back deep. It's one of those things I kind of like about high school football. Nobody's, you're not saving your guys. They're putting out one of their best offensive players, one of their best defensive players as the punt returners out here. And this one will bounce away from Russell. Turns into a pretty nice kick for Travis, all the way out to the 48-yard line. So
47-yard kick with no return.
It couldn't have went much better for them, although it's still good field position, obviously, for Preston Tilke and the Champlin Park offense here.
Well, that does give the defense a little bit of room to work in, and Russell not being able to field the ball. He had 2 really nice kick returns last week against Maple Grove that got good field position for the Rebels.
Hand it off on a little jet sweep action. Jaden Basamore is dropped for a loss here. Osseo not quite fooled by that one.
No,
Shannon Anderson got there.
Really got some good support off of the flank there, and really Basamore had nowhere to go. He's just trying to outrun people, and Osseo's defenders took the angles away from him and got him for a nice 4-yard loss.
Well, 2nd and long now for Tilke. And we have our first penalty of the game. Is that when not everybody was moving at the correct time there for the Rebels?
Everybody on the offensive line except the ball.
Yeah, and usually when it's that many, then it probably tells you it was the center that kind of forgot the snap count there or didn't get it going when he should have.
That's one of the guys you usually think is going to know the snap count pretty.
So not what the Rebels wanted. They lost on the first down sweep and then lose 5 more here. So 2nd and long. Tilke going to roll to his right. Pressure now coming, and he throws. Let's see. Yes, they're going to rule it a catch. Nice job by McGuire Borboom to get his feet down in bounds. They'll still be a long way short of the first down, but that's a nice pickup there.
Yeah, it gives them a third and 8 or 9. Let's see the replay here. In high school, like in college, only has to have 1 foot down. Boy, he makes a nice catch on the sideline. He's covered. That was an excellent grab.
That'll do it for the first quarter. No score on the board here. It's a pretty quick quarter. Each team having a couple of drives here at Champlin Park in the middle of their second. 0-0. We'll be back with quarter number 2. Tilke tucks it and runs there on that 3rd down and long, and he will be short of the first down, stopped at the 41 after about a 5-yard gain. But they're in a spot here where, not too surprised. We're going to see them look to go for it on 4th and 3.
About the spot on the field where Osseo was on their first drive. We see that Tilke does a good job of tucking the ball and trying to get a few yards, but now it leaves them with a 4th and fairly reasonable distance, 4th and 4.
And I think they're going to use a timeout. Tilke looking to the sideline, and usually not a good sign when you see the quarterback turn and kind of put his palms up like, what do we got? What's coming?
Especially since so much of the time, even in high school football, you see plays coming in after the defense gets set, and in that case, my guess was they might have been trying to get Osseo to jump offside and give him an easy first down, and to avoid the procedure penalty, they took the timeout. But again, a 4 yards is not a gimme. Big defensive play here for Osseo will really give them a little momentum boost.
Telke straight drop back. Now looking to roll right. Oh, and it is dropped. They had what they wanted there, but just not able to reel it in was Cole Jerpseth. They've got a big tight end as well.
Yep.
And Jerpseth thinking about where he was going to run before he hauled it in there. He did a nice job of continuing to move to get open here.
Yep. And we can see that Jepson just lets the ball get into his body, and you always try to teach your receivers and tight ends, catch the ball with your hands away from your body, and because that's exactly what can happen. That ball gets in your body, hits something hard, and bounces right away from you. It's very hard to corral.
So Osseo gets it back at the 41. And driven back there is Fairvong. He will pick up a couple on the play.
It looked like it wasn't going to get much of anything. It was good penetration by the D-line and good fill by the linebackers, but Fairvong was able to get a couple of yards. We've had a quarterback change, it looks like.
Yeah, Ethan Witcher has stepped in, and he has played throughout the year, getting series here and there. He got a little tangled on the handoff. Fairvong broke through one tackle, but then the second man, Msinski, is able to bring him down. Pickup of 3 more there.
4, yeah. Yeah, kind of a bump with Fairvong there. Fairvong makes a nice move at the line of scrimmage. He gets a couple of yards. We're 3rd and about 4 here. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. I've noticed that Smith on the sideline is kind of limping around a little bit. He's favoring one leg.
Handoff this time going up the middle, and a solid stop by Graham as Omar Knighton took that handoff. And they'll stop him short of the first down by 2 or 3 yards. 4th and a long 2.
This is a pretty risky play right here, I think.
See if they might just try and draw the Rebels offside here. Kind of a hard count from Witcher.
We call a no play.
And now Osseo will use a timeout and quite possibly bring the punt team on from here, you would think, but we'll see. Not a bad idea, though. You get somebody overeager and ready to make a play and draw them off there, and you get a free 5. But
yep.
Rebels actually somebody did move a little, but just not far enough into
just didn't get into the space to encroach in the line of scrimmage there. So far, I'm impressed with the Champlin Park inside linebackers, Matthew Heinen and Jalen Graham. Both those guys are pretty physical and good, sure tacklers. They fill very nicely, and they really support their defensive linemen.
Travis is the punter for Osseo, and he got away that good one last time that Russell was unable to field. Russell and Schornstein going back deep. No score on the board here. We're about 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Travis, the left footer, a short knuckleball kick. Kind of bounces back toward the line of scrimmage, so not nearly as good of a punt that time around, as it'll end up only being about a 15-yarder after not taking the kind of bounce that he was hoping. Rebels will get it at their 37-yard line here.
It's good field position for Champlin Park now.
Yeah, and they've certainly had the better of the field position in this first half, and in part because of that drive that took them down to the 10-yard line where they ended up giving it up on downs.
Right. And then pinning Osseo right back, so they had to kick from their 1-yard line. So Osseo's defense has answered the call here.
Yeah, they have. Both teams have stepped up when they've needed. Telke firing it out. And incomplete. Yeah, it bounced off the ground. That's what I thought. Barboom trying to sell it, make it look good. And there's another one that Preston would like that back, as that one is. You want to get that ball out quick, but you got to get it on him.
You got to get it. You want to get it above his waist. I'd like to actually hit him right in the middle of the 5 with that, but just skips it in. He has to short hop it, and that little bubble screen is, can be a really nice play, but now we're in 2nd and long.
Telke handing off to Russell on the right side, and a nice cutback there. Ball came out. Looks like Osseo's got it. Haven't seen a signal just yet. Officials are huddling, and now it looks like, well, Osseo's celebrating, but no official signal's been given yet. But I have to believe, they are going to call it Osseo ball. The only question was, whether he was down first or not.
It's hard to tell, but yeah, the ball is out before he goes down. Yep. Good defense. First down right there, or second down right there for Osseo, and they get the ball back in decent field position.
Yeah, they'll have it at the Champlin Park 45, so first turnover of the game committed by the Rebels. Witcher is still in there at quarterback. Handoff going up the middle, and not much doing that time, as carry was taken by Knighton.
Janadu, the defensive tackle, number 92, really stood up the offensive lineman in front of him and made a nice hit at the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 10 now for the Orioles. Witcher rolling to his right. Throwing downfield into traffic, and Schornstein with the interception. So they'll turn it right back over. As a nice leaping grab by Brady Schornstein there for Champlin Park.
Yeah, this looked like it when he let it go, it looked like it was going to be a pretty good pass. But Schornstein does a nice job of getting cutting in front of the receiver and making the play. So now the teams swap turnovers.
Rebels have it back at their 26-yard line with just over 8 to go here in this second quarter. They're going to go right back to Russell, and he was hit immediately. Now there's a flag down. The whistle did apparently blow.
I don't know if he threw the flag after the whistle was blown.
No, face mask.
That would usually, it's a face mask. Usually you'd see that would be a holding. That's going to be an automatic first down for Rebels on a play in which they lost 4 or 5 yards. Very tough.
Yeah,
break.
That's a tough one for Osseo. Let's see as Russell cuts it back.
Right there.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
Definitely had the hand up, and Jabril Hall.
Yeah, not only got not a hand on the face mask, got a pretty good grab on it.
So out to the 41 now. A fresh set of downs for the Rebels via penalty. Delay of game, though, against Champlin Park.
We haven't really talked about it yet, but here in high school football now, we're running, most of the stadiums have play clocks. And like the college game and the NFL, where high school is going to be on the play clock.
First and 15. Here's Arthur Russell, and he is brought down instantly. And he's stopped for the Orioles by Anderson and Anderson, the law firm there.
Yeah.
As they wrapped him up instantly there.
Shandon and McHale.
They've Russell had the 111-yard run early, but overall they've done a pretty solid job against him. And unfortunately for Osseo, a face mask on the previous one, or that would have been a tackle for loss. Telke rolling out to his right, throwing it deep downfield, and the receiver stopped there a little bit at Sturdivant. The coverage was decent, but then it looked like he was going to break away from him, and that's what Telke was seeing there.
Yeah.
I think he felt like he was getting past him there. I'm not sure that the route necessarily called for him to go all that way, but
yeah. But the quarterback is taught to throw the ball where the guy is going to be, assuming he's running full speed. And one of the things that really galls coaches is a receiver who throttles down once the ball gets in the air, because there's nothing you can do about it.
Third and long, plenty of time. Telke throwing this one deep downfield. Oh, they didn't miss by much. Orboom was out there and available, but just overshot him. So 4th and 15, and the Rebels presumably into a punt situation here.
It certainly appears that they've got the punt team out there.
Yep, Telke is their punter as well. Zamir Johnson and Isaac Johnson back deep for Osseo here as Telke will punt. It's a low liner and grabbed at the 35, and not quite able to slip through that first wave was Zamir Johnson, but still pretty good field position for Osseo here as they get it back.
Well, he got the plus there is that he fielded the ball, got it cleanly, and was able to get through traffic and pick up 4 or 5 yards. If that ball hits the floor, in my mind, that thing takes off and goes another 15 or 20 yards, and then you're in tough field position. Now you've got reasonable field position.
Witcher remains at quarterback here for Osseo. Oh, he drops it. Ball on the turf. Looks like he will recover it, but not the start they wanted to that possession, as Witcher had to just pounce on that one. To his credit, he did pounce on it, though.
Yep.
Better than losing it.
The ball got knocked out of his hand. I wonder if it's that one of those offensive linemen knocking the ball away from the quarterback. Usually you teach the quarterback to, on the snap, particularly from center, you bring the ball right up to your belt buckle so that it doesn't get knocked out of your hands.
2nd and 15. Go with the handoff right side. Heinen riding down the ball carrier Blanchette. Gets a couple here, so 3rd and long coming up. 3rd and 12, they'll call it for the Orioles. Witcher stepping up here, now going to take off. And almost got by. Heinen got enough of him to spin him sideways and then finished off by Tyler Hansen.
Yeah, Heinen got just enough of him with his hand to slow him up. We'll see here on the replays, Witcher comes up and right there gets spun around by Heinen grabbing him on the arm and spinning him just enough to lose his balance. And brings back a 4th and long for Osseo.
Travis in punt formation here for the Orioles as the defenses continue to kind of get the better of things here, and we're still at 0-0. Travis, had to hurry that one out, and this time he got plenty of leg. Let's see the bounce, though. Yeah, it's going to die down, and we'll be down at the 11-yard line by Dion Ricks. I was almost thinking, you want to see such a good punt go into the end zone and kind of negate that, and it didn't. It stepped, throttled itself down right there, right around the 10.
He got a really, really nice, got his foot right into that, and it got up in the air and turned over a little bit, and when it hit the ground, hit the floor, it just popped straight up in the air. So that was a really good punt.
Yeah, this isn't something I normally say about punters, but sometimes when you don't have time to think, it's almost better. The fact that he had to hurry that one out of there actually went better for him, I think. Telke faking the sweep, and he'll run it himself, and not much doing. Osseo was not fooled.
Osseo's defense seems to be pretty well schooled on the types of things that Champlin Park wants to do offensively. Consequently, they've played a very good game defensively so far.
And no gain for Telke on that one. So we're down under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, still at 0-0. Telke will roll to his right, firing it in low and incomplete as he tried to go to Barebone. It was good coverage. He decided to give him a shot and see if he could make a play like he did earlier on the sideline, but that time the throw was low. And I think it's a smart play, though, by Telke to not take a chance. And he probably could have hit his receiver, but he was well covered enough that might have been a little bit of a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, he tried to put it in right where only the receiver could catch it, and it was just a tad low.
So here we go with a 3rd down and 10. Telke firing, tipped around and intercepted. Picked off there by Mikkel Anderson for Osseo. The old tip drill as it hit a couple different players.
Yeah, really. Kind of like a pinball there. You will see. Ball comes right. Hits the receiver in the hand, bounce off the head of the defender and right into Anderson's arms. Oops.
Yeah, and that one, in looking again, that was actually a pretty good throw by Telke. The receiver just had it bounce off him there, and Mikkel Anderson with the pick. Witcher turns, hands off here, and spun down there was Blanchette. It's himself about a 2-yard gain, or maybe 3. Call it a couple. Second down and 8.
Well, both teams are really struggling to run the ball. The defensive lines and inside linebackers are keeping things off balance for the offense.
Right side, Blanchette taking the handoff there. Pick up 3 on that one.
I would guess with this, at this point in the quarter and this part of the field, even though it's 3rd and 6, if they don't make the first down, they're going to go for it on 4th.
Go with the counter. Blanchette cutting it back, surges forward, and he's going to be close to having a first down. Looks like he might. No, looks like they're putting up the fist for 4th down. A little bit short.
Not much. I thought he stretched it out and had that last couple of feet.
Yeah, they didn't spot it as far forward as I thought he had gotten there, so it's about a full yard. And we're going to have a timeout taken here by the defense of Champlin Park. Just under 2 minutes to go now in a scoreless first half here. Osseo facing a 4th and 1. They're at the 23 of Champlin Park. And I was thinking, Bill, earlier you'd kind of say the defenses were bending but not breaking, but lately they're not even really bending too much.
They're really tightened up. Both defenses have tightened up and taken control of the not only the line of scrimmage, but pretty much everything else. I'm almost thinking, too, that not knowing what kind of kicking game Osseo has, even though it's only 4th and 1, with less than 2 minutes to go in the half, don't know if Jamison Travis he's their kicker, but don't know what kind of a field goal kicker he is.
So here we go, big 4th down play here. And timeout this time by the offense. Orioles with that big old line, you'd think you'd like, but as we've said, that running the ball hasn't been particularly easy for either team here so far. Gotten some positive yardage here and there, but by and large they haven't been, running at will or knocking people off the ball too much on either side.
No, nobody's gashing anybody else's defense in this first half.
That's where it's kind of interesting when you get to halftime of this. The defensive coaches on both teams are probably saying, yeah, I like what we're doing. And the offensive coaches are both going, So then you kind of, you have to balance that out in terms of when you're addressing the team and everything too.
Absolutely.
So here we go, 4th and 1. Gonna throw it, looking for Travis, and tipped away by Russell. Incomplete. As Russell, giving up an awful lot of size, and to his credit, didn't try to go up with him. He just waited and put the hands in.
Yep. It was well defended. You see, he swatted it right out of Travis's hand.
And as you said, though, Bill, I think you could make a case for a defensive hold or illegal contact there. Russell got into him pretty good just as the ball was being thrown. But they let him play, and then he makes the nice play with the hand to punch it out. So Rebels get it back with a little under 2 to go. Telke looked left, then throws right. Orboom is blasted after he makes that catch. Solid hit by Dion Ricks. Did get the catch, but only about 3 or 4 yards.
Ricks making a nice one-on-one open field tackle there to limit that pass reception to 3 yards.
There's the type of play where you say, this being a receiver isn't as much fun as I thought, because he got lined up and hit. Telke on the run, and he weaves his way through the secondary. Telke out near midfield before he's finally tripped up there. And that'll be a first down, or do we have a flag down? We may have a flag. I don't
way
actually
back at the line of scrimmage at the 24-yard line.
I was seeing Osseo pointing. So this one more than likely is going to be coming back here, you'd think. Yeah, it's going to be a hold against the Rebels. Ooh, a costly one there, as they appeared to have had a good gainer for their quarterback.
Yeah, that's
right when you get on the edge, I think it was probably right there. He did a good job, man.
Yep.
Or it could have been Russell, actually, too. He kind of dragged the guy down. That probably is what it was.
In wrestling, that's a 2-point takedown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that negates a 40-yard run with a 10-yard penalty. That's a half a field difference in field position.
You have an injury for Osseo on the play, 50. As it's Braylon Eidsvog who is injured. And looking at that replay, though, I think a pretty good call. And when you do have to make, I mean, it may very well have impacted the play. And those are kind of tough ones when a quarterback's running like that, because when you're blocking, you kind of have your back to him. You don't really know which direction he's going to be cutting, but that's where you kind of have to weigh whether it's worth it to grab onto somebody and hope they don't see it, or just kind of do your best to impede them and let the chips fall.
Yeah, that's a tough one all the way around, because the quarterback at that point is freelancing it. He's just running. It becomes not a play that's been diagrammed in practice. So
Telke looking deep downfield and has a receiver out there. He'll catch it, but go down to the ground. Basemore with
nice
a
grab.
Big gainer there.
Nice grab by Basemore. Because he was covered. That was well defended.
A 41-yard pickup there. And Telke's going to spike it as we go under a minute to play.
Well, of all the balls that they have thrown deep, that particularly Telke's thrown deep today that have been off the mark, that one was right there.
I guess if you're greedy, though, you might say we would have liked this to go all the way, because he was enough behind him that if he catches that one, it would have been a foot race. But you still love the big gainer if you're CP.
Yep.
So they will have it 2nd and 10 now after spiking it at the 43 of Osseo. 3 receivers out to the right. Telke throwing on the run and trying to sneak this one in there, and he did. Wow, there was not a big window to get that one there.
No,
Matthew Burge with the catch.
That was well defended, too.
Telke now 1st and 10. Gonna throw it deep down the left side and incomplete. Out of bounds.
Nice grab.
Yeah, Drissi had the catch, but not able to keep the foot in bounds. And a near miss there for the Rebels.
Still, we're 2nd down and 10. 34 seconds.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he makes a nice grab on the ball, which is what you've got to do. It's not going to be a completion unless you catch it. You got to try to do the best you can with your feet.
2nd and 10 here at the Osseo 30. Some drama late in the half. Little hitch. Telke will throw on the run. Nicely defended and broken up there. As Mikhail Anderson breaking that one up.
Here we'll see.
He wanted to get that little hitch and go, but I don't think Osseo really bid on it, and then great job defensively there. So we got a 3rd down and 10. Telke going to come back to that same play here and bat it away. There's Donato with the breakup there. Actually a pretty well thrown ball, but the defender just getting there and undercutting and swatting it out.
That was very similar to the defensive play that Russell made at the other end of the field for Champlin Park.
Boy, Rebels, they got to like this play because it almost hit earlier, and then he gets back, and they're going to go for it here. I mean, it's too long for a field goal, so you might as well.
Donato got his hand on that.
Oh, now we're going to get a flag down before they can get this snap underway. Offside against Osseo. Move them 5 yards closer here.
Well, with 22 seconds, you get a 1st down. You still got a chance at getting some points here.
4th down and 5. Telke over the middle, and it's complete. It's going to be 1st down and goal to go as he finds Burge. See if they'll spike it again here, and they will.
11 seconds. Another nice pass and catch here.
Did a good job. He had enough good protection, too, to wait for him to come through the middle of that zone.
And Burge makes a nice reaching grab, keeps his balance, and gets a few yards after the catch before he's tackled inside the 5-yard line.
Only 11 seconds, though. You can't afford to be tackled in the field here, or they'll run out of time. Going to roll to his left. Now he's going to run for it. Tilke puts his shoulder down and powers in for the touchdown with just 6 seconds to go in the half. And there's where it's not too bad to have a pretty good-sized quarterback, as he's able to power in.
Yeah, and Tilke, being a 6'4", 190-pound quarterback, has got some size and strength to him that obviously could power the ball into the end zone. Well, that was quite a last minute for Champlin Park, moving the ball and getting a couple of big plays.
Evan Swanstrom on to attempt the extra point. It is good, and with just 6 seconds to go in the first half, Champlin Park breaks the deadlock as they finish off the drive with a touchdown.
So we'll watch Tilke here. Looks like it's going to be a run all the way. That's a pretty good RPO, but he really leans into the end zone. As you see, he gets his shoulder into the defender. Defender misses him in the backfield and drives, you talk about the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half. Champlin Park scores with 6 seconds remaining in the half, and they get the ball first in the second half. So that's going to be that's an opportunity to get 14 points without Osseo touching the ball. In reality, even though they will touch the ball here for a couple of seconds, but
Trace Fitzgerald will kick off here for Champlin Park. Look like we might get to halftime scoreless, but then that big 4th down conversion for the Rebels, leading to touchdown run for Preston Tilke. You're in a tough spot as a DB there too, and Billy Russell's given up quite a bit of size there, not much of a chance to get that stop. Little pooch kick here, and Osseo Fairbaugh able to field it, and then is brought down near the 30. That realistically was going to be not time enough to do much with that regardless, but at least they didn't give Champlin Park an opportunity there. That ball was well placed enough that there had to be some scary moments there for the Osseo coaches.
Well, yeah, that ball's a live ball if it goes 10 yards, and if you don't field it, you give it right back.
Presumably something very safe here with only 1 second to go. If not a kneel down, then at least just a little handoff, I would think, here for Witcher. Yeah, he's just going to kneel it down. And the half will come to an end here. Some fireworks late. Champlin Park scores with only 6 seconds to go in the half. And that will enable them to take a lead into halftime here. Our score at the half here at Osseo is Champlin Park 7, Osseo nothing. We will have first half highlights and stats, and then our second half of football. Thanks for joining us for prep football action here on CCX Sports.
I'm a first-generation Filipino American. You don't always feel you're a part of the country you live in. It's this weird middle space sometimes that you have to live inside of. But when you meet others that are also living in that space, you'll learn to know that it's its own unique space too.
Welcome back here to Osseo as the band getting started here with their halftime performance here. Champlin Park 7, Osseo nothing, and they took that lead just at the tail end of the first half as we look at first half highlights in this one. Telke firing early, it was caught and then fumbled, and Osseo, boy, that's a bad mistake there to not pounce on that ball. It was ruled a catch and then a fumble, so Champlin Park got it back. Telke running the football here. And then an incompletion on 4th down that could have probably given them a first down. So Osseo getting a stop there. And then Telke firing on the sideline. Really nice catch there, right along the sideline by Borboom for Champlin Park. Osseo forcing a fumble right there as Russell coughed it up just before he hit the ground. Orioles trying to take advantage, but instead they end up giving it back. Schornstein with the nice interception there for CP. And then the Rebels turn the ball over here as a tip drill and intercepted. Right at the end of the half, there's the lone touchdown as Telke on a keeper. They were just about out of time. If he gets brought down short of the goal line here, the half's going to run out, but he's able to power it in with 6 seconds to go. And that gives Champlin Park the 7-0 halftime lead. You see, not much for offense for Osseo in particular there, as they've struggled, and their starting quarterback, Taven Smith, was hobbling around and didn't play after a while or so. We kind of expect he will not be back in, but we'll have to see that there. And turnovers hurting Champlin Park a little bit, but not on the scoreboard, obviously. So Rebels will carry a 7-0 lead into half number 2. Mostly defensive first half there, other than a couple big pass plays late for Champlin Park. We'll take a timeout, come back with more here at Osseo High School. It's Prep Football Week number 3 here on CCX Sports.
I am so glad you ladies are here. You each have your own rooms.
Thank you.
Good.
Is it okay to call you Mom?
Of course you can.
Stop is always
And welcome back here to Osseo as halftime activities wrapping up and the team's getting set to play. Of course, it's a 5 o'clock start here, and so a little bit different, scenario in terms of there's not getting to darkness quite yet here in week 3, and I think the weather pretty much perfect. We've, obviously those first week or two, sometimes you get a lot of heat to deal with, and by the end it's the opposite, but I think we're kind of in that sweet spot for tonight's kickoff.
I just noted, just following up on our halftime discussions, I noticed that Taven Smith, the quarterback for Osseo, is still gimping around a little bit, but he is got his civilian shoes on and he's not ready to go back in. So our assumption, Jay, that he's going to be out for the rest of the game is undoubtedly true.
Russell waiting back deep to receive kickoff here as Jamison Travis will boot it away. There's a look at Smith. Yeah, and his backup Witcher that went in was loosening up, talking to him right there. So, and again, Osseo is already a little bit nicked up. So they, not what they wanted to see, obviously, here. It's it is all part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a physical sport, and injuries can happen at any time. So Travis will boot this one away, and he's going to go short with it, but it spins sideways and out of bounds.
That'll go on the 35.
I think he wanted to do that, but not the part about it bouncing sideways and out of bounds. And sometimes that's a little bit hard to control.
But I don't disagree with that. You've got a return guy like Russell back there who can get after it pretty good.
Well, and keep in mind, a great returner at Coon Rapids took one back and then the opening kickoff last week, too. So.
Yep.
So Rebels get it at the 35. Kind of a hit and miss offensive first half. They obviously made some big plays late, but I don't think overall they probably would say they were terribly happy with their first half performance.
No, and they only had, in the mid-20s rushing.
Yeah, and that's not the way to start. As be a 5-yard mark off against Champlin Park here to begin the half.
You will see.
And again, it's
a couple of the offensive
3-4 guys
moving.
going, but not snapping. So we're not going to put the blame on the center necessarily there, because some of the other guys were still in place. But obviously not everybody was on the same page. Those are the kind that just bug you when you're a coach, right?
Those are the penalties that drive coaches up a wall. Absolutely. They those are just concentration.
So 1st and 15 now for Telke and the Rebels. Going to go with a little toss out to Russell, and nice open field stop on him as Shandon Anderson meeting him.
Gain of about 3. So it'll make 2nd and 12.
Correction, I believe that was Trey Thomas who got in on the stop there, number 8 rather than 3. This time Telke keeping it, and the ball ripped out, but it goes right to a Champlin Park lineman. Good hands by Jeremiah Fenlison to hang on to that one. Not expecting the ball there. Watch a good rip out right there.
Yep. And the ball bounces right off the helmet of Fenlison and right into his hands. Good awareness.
Shikali ripping that ball out. But Rebels fortunate there to keep it. Telke rolling to his right. Now he's going to put his foot in the ground and go, but defense gets to him. They'll stop him well short of the first down.
Yep. It's at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, and in this field position, you got to be thinking punt here, I would guess, right?
I would think, especially with a 1-touchdown lead. You really don't want to give Osseo any chance to get back in the game. You know, your defense has played pretty well. You've got the number 2 quarterback in against you, so, punt the ball, get the ball downfield, even if it's only a few yards, and then crank your defense up again.
Telke is the punter. Isaac Johnson and Zamir Johnson back deep to receive for Osseo. A low liner, whoa, and then a hard hit delivered there. Isaac Johnson stepped up to field that one, actually kind of jumped in front of his teammate there. They didn't communicate, but he is able to hang on to the football despite taking a pretty good hit. So it'll be Osseo ball at the 30.
A little bit better communication between your return guys, I would think.
Ethan Witcher, who took over after Smith went out with what appeared to be an ankle injury. looking to throw, chased out of there. Witcher now going to tuck it and try to run. And gets his nice gainer out over the 25 to the 26 and trying to spin away from Nick Joseph there. And did a pretty good job to actually get a little farther than I thought he was going to when he got to the edge there.
They moved the ball 6 yards, got the ball out to the 36-yard line. And it was an empty backfield that time, so it was obviously a passing formation, and he made a nice move to get the ball upfield and get a good gain out of it.
And handoff, not much doing that time. Schornstein down low and Graham coming over the top to help finish off the ball carrier Blanchette. And that'll be no gain on the play there for the Orioles. So 3rd down and 4 coming up here on Osseo's first possession here of this second half. 7-0 Rebels, our score. Travis being asked to split out farther out there. Might be one-on-one coverage, and they'd be tempted to go that way. Witcher's going to look the other way. It's deflected and incomplete as Graham getting in there and getting a piece of that one. And it'll bring up a punting situation here for Osseo.
Yeah, this is well played by Graham from this linebacker spot, getting in, and I think that with the inexperience that we have with Witcher, they're gonna put as much pressure on him as they can, not give him a clean look at the field and force him to run or pull the ball down.
Travis punting, and again, a pretty good rush on him. He got it out of there, and it'll be downed at about the 30-yard line there by Evan Fetzum for Osseo as Rebels get the football back at their 30, continuing to lead it by a 7-0 score.
Be interesting to see how, if in that scoring drive that they had in the last minute of the first half, they completed 3 or 4 passes. In their first possession in the second half, they didn't look like they were going to try to throw the ball much at all.
Russell taking the handoff here, and that pretty good push to get him about 6 or 7. Oh, not quite as much as I thought. They're 5-yard gain, though, for Russell.
Right.
The point still being valid, just not quite as many yards at the end, falling forward as I thought he had gotten. Second and 5. We're going to go back to the ground. Russell cutting back. And too much traffic there. They're trying to rip the ball out. And I got a feeling they're going to tell Russell in film that you can't afford to do that, run backward like that.
No. You don't want to be giving up ground. Just stick your foot in the ground, drive forward, and get what you can. Got a timeout on the field with an injured Osseo player.
Here's a look. Yeah, you don't want to, not to say it can't ever work, but in general there, I think you're better off just getting what you can out of that.
Yeah, that's not an optimal type of situation, running away from the point of attack, and you can't always outrun everybody.
Gary Holloway, I believe, is the injured Osseo player, and from that look, it certainly appears that it could be cramps.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll make his way off the field here. So we have a 3rd down and about 5 here for 6 for Champlin Park.
Gary Holloway.
Austin Tucker in there in the backfield now next to Telke. Looking to throw, rush coming. He throws it deep downfield for Borboom. Let's see, has he got it? Yes, he does. Great adjustment to the ball there. Not too bad of defense, really, I didn't think, by Donato, but stayed right with it and hauls it in.
Boy, nice ball by Thielke, getting a little pressure. Gets it right out there where only his guy can catch it. And
that's really good concentration.
Borber makes a nice grab on the ball, yep.
He's kind of earning some trust here with a couple of these catches he's made, I think, right?
Absolutely.
Want to set up a little flare pass, incomplete. The tight end Jerpseth not able to haul it in. It was not really that well thrown, I don't think.
No, it was a little high.
Yeah, and I think Telke was telling him right there, I got to do a better job of putting that one on your body.
But I think he got a little, just right as he was releasing the ball, got a little bit of pressure, and that forced the ball to be up in the air a little bit higher than he wanted it.
Be a 2nd and 10 now for Champlin Park. Tucker is ripped. Whoa. Shandon Anderson flying through like a missile, and Austin Tucker probably wishing he hadn't taken that handoff at all, right?
That's a pretty good blitz and a good hit right there. Boy, Shandon Anderson really hit that seam perfectly right there and makes a beautiful, beautiful tackle.
So 3rd and 12 now coming for Champlin Park. Russell comes back into the game in the backfield. Can the Osseo defense come up big again here? 4 in the route. Telke looking to throw. Now going to tuck it and run, and he is cut down. Nice open field stop there by Philip Say. He got a little bit of yardage there, about 2 or 3, but obviously not nearly enough for the first down.
Yeah, we're fourth and long here, as we can see. Good pass defense forces Thielke to pull the ball down and gets a good hit by Say.
So 4th and 9 here for Champlin Park. And a roll to his left. Throwing and incomplete. Well defended there for Osseo by Trey Thomas. It was pretty much all over the receiver, had him blanketed. And now he's cramping up as he's being helped off. He's so excited he doesn't want to sit down, but he's having to have teammates carry him off.
And again, we can see well played defense. I mean, he does a good job of playing the man and the ball and not grabbing the body of the receiver and getting a pass interference call.
Now, I venture to say some Rebels fans would say, well, he did kind of have that right arm draped around him a little bit there, but not enough to call it.
There you go.
Osseo gets a stop on downs. They'll have it at the 29-yard line, but they have struggled to get much going offensively here. Witcher faking that handoff, and then the pass out into the flat and incomplete, looking for Omar Knight, and got it out front of him a little too much. Looked maybe catchable, but it should have been an easy pitch and catch.
Yep.
Actually, I really like the play call there.
That was a nice play call, yep. But Knighton couldn't corral it, and it looked like he kind of tripped and fell on that as he was trying to catch the ball.
So 2nd and 10 now for the Orioles. Handoff to Blanchette, has some room, and then takes a hit. He'll be, it looks like, just short of the first down by about a yard.
And pretty good hit by Russell and Graham there to bring him down, just short of the line to gain. Here we see a nice run. Kind of got to lower your shoulder a little bit.
And Osseo will get enough push, and Witcher picks up the first down. So Osseo getting a fresh set of downs, something they've not been able to do too often tonight here. The good news is they're still obviously very much in striking distance. It's down 7-0. Ooh, and a hard hit by Graham on Blanchette there after a gain of about a yard.
Yeah, Blanchette makes a nice move, but it's
under 4 to play now here in the third as Osseo trying to get a little something going here after that, picking up that first down. High snap, good catch by Witcher. Throws and completes it to Travis. The big guy out there running. Heinen, though, tracks him down at about the 48. Will leave him a couple yards short of the first down. First completion for Witcher here tonight.
He does a nice job of corralling the snap from center. And Heinen makes a nice play to save the first down. It's 3rd and 2.
Witcher's going to hand it off and nowhere to run there. Whoa, big stop there for the Rebels by Michael Bruggers as he took Omar Knighton and just wrapped him up instantly here. Pretty much unblocked.
Yeah, he does a good job of really holding his spot on the line of scrimmage there, not getting blocked, and now we're at 4th and 2.
Looks like they're planning to punt here. Maybe not a bad spot for a hard count here, though. They are going to kick it away. Travis steps into this one. Schornstein has it get over his head, and it will get all the way to the end zone, much to Brady's relief there. I think he was briefly thinking about trying to catch that one on the bounce, but then was like, probably better not, and had enough into it. Travis kind of an interesting style because he really steps forward into these punts.
Right.
And that time he got a lot of leg into it.
Yeah, he's had a couple of really, really good punts today. And this is about the deepest in their own zone that Champlin Park has started with the football all day.
Yeah, they've really had the better of the field position part of it.
Exactly, yeah.
They're hoping to do a little more with it. Ooh, coming out with a T power look here. And off to Russell with plenty of room to run, and he has a chance. No, he's going to be caught, and now the ball's fumbled. And the Rebels will get it back. Oh, my
goodness.
Huge play on the run, then a nice strip. And following up to recover it is Tyler Hansen. As Russell breaking that one.
And, boy, great effort here.
Look at the speed by Donato to run him down.
Donato, and to knock the ball out and just missed the fumble recovery. So, and that formation and that play near and dear to your heart, Jay, with that Elk River Power T look on that.
Something we're obviously seeing for the first time right there, and they executed well until Russell coughing it up.
And that's actually the second time he's been jarred loose from the football. That was a really nice attack on the ball by Donato, not only to run Russell down, but to get a good stab on the ball. But
and I have to be honest, I'm surprised how easily he was run down there. It looked like from up here that he was briefly breaking into the clear completely, and it was going to be, if anybody caught him, it might be, down inside the 20 or something, but he just instantly ran him down. They're going to keep in the tee look. Football at the 29 after the recovery. This time it's Schornstein on the taking the handoff. Rebels, I think, maybe a little bit dissatisfied with what they'd gotten out of their ground game throughout the evening here, so kind of going a different look.
And they've got
no receivers, a couple tight ends, and
they've got Heinen as the fullback, which is basically a blocker.
And Schornstein will take it again, and looks like he'll have enough for the first down. So interesting look. Rebels offensive coaches having a little package in their back pocket here and going to it here late in the third quarter.
You see that they put 4 guys at the point of attack blocking, and it's very hard to get 3 or 4 guys defensively at the point of attack like that. That's where this is a tough offense to handle.
Oh, the snap got away. Russell scoops it up. And Russell will end up with some positive yardage. Tilke was not ready, and that ball went right through him.
Yeah, that ball went right through his hands and onto the floor and bounced around. And Russell, with good awareness, picks it up and gets a 7-yard gain out of it. So 2 bad things that can happen, a fumble and a missed snap, turn into positives for Champlin Park.
2nd and 4 now from the Osseo 11 as they look to build on this 7-0 lead. Go this time, handoff to Heinen, and he will have enough for the first down, it would appear, to about the 6, and that should probably be the last play of the third quarter. They do wind the clock, and that'll tick us to 0. So Rebels on the march. We end the third, still where we were at the end of the second. 7-0 Champlin Park. Fourth quarter is next. We change ends here for quarter number 4 at John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field here at Osseo. Champlin Park leading 7-0, and looking to try and add to it. They'll have a first down and goal at the Osseo 7 as they have changed to a power formation, a T look with a pair of tight ends. Nobody split wide here, and it's worked to great effect on this drive. And we're going to have timeout taken, I believe, yes, by the defense of Osseo. Well, they can't be surprised at this, that they're seeing this again, but
yeah.
Interesting. Champlin Park really hadn't been able to get consistent rushing offense tonight, so they'd been throwing the ball around a little bit, but just kind of changing things up on that last drive and say, let's go power look here, and it tight
drive the ball at them
and run it down.
Yeah.
And it feels like in this kind of game, a touchdown here would be pretty big. I mean, the Osseo offense has not done all that much tonight.
No. They have not gotten the ball in the red zone. And, their offense has been out of sync ever since the loss of Smith.
Handoff goes to Russell, powering down to about the 3. Donato runs him, or brings him down. Second and goal now from the 3 here for Champlin Park. Schornstein thrown down at about the 1. Stop made there.
Yeah, to handle this offensive set, you have to really get good penetration by your defensive linemen, and your linebackers have to fill hard. And that's a very challenging thing to do, especially when the offensive line are just coming off hard.
I think we may have had a sideline warning given there. They dropped the flag and then just picked it back up. And the Rebels were a little bit confused, like, because they got word they had to stop. Go up the middle, and Heinen will get in for the touchdown. The middle of the 3 backs there in that set, and Heinen able to punch it in for Champlin Park as they will stretch the lead now to 13-0.
That's a big score right there. That second touchdown is huge, especially in a game like this where both offenses have struggled.
Swanstrom will kick the extra point try here, and it is up and it is good. So 10:58 to go in the 4th. And Champlin Park now leading it 14-0. As you get another look, nothing fancy there. Just
nope.
It's interesting because you would have thought, maybe coming into the game, if anybody was going to try and prevail by this strategy, it would have been Osseo.
Right.
But nice sequence there for Champlin Park. And you get a couple of your defensive studs on the field. They're not primarily there for their offense, but you get some good athletes in there. And Heinen able to push his way in there.
And you know that Heinen's a good, tough guy. He's in there primarily to block for the 2 halfbacks. But when he gets the ball, he's going to run hard. He's just a physical type of player.
And Schornstein there as well, getting a couple of important carries on that drive as well for Champlin Park. So they got to kind of feel good about that, both as coaching staff and as players, that, okay, we've got something that we've undoubtedly been working on in practice, and we put it in game to great effect. It worked exactly like they wanted it to. They ate up clock, they moved down the field, they scored.
Yep.
Now Osseo trying to battle back. Barabong taking it at about the 8. Spins away and brought down at the 25-yard line here. So Orioles not out of time by any means. There's still just about 11 minutes, and it's actually the kicker, Evan Swanstrom, who is down. But at the same time, if you're Osseo, you got a long field to go, and you got, you haven't been doing a whole lot coming in. Swanstrom, looks like he just got hurt kicking that ball. I was going to say, you're kind of hoping that it wasn't somebody that just, coming up trying to take on the kicker, but no, obviously it just hurt himself.
His it's his left leg, and looks like a knee, maybe on his plant on the kick. He hyperextended his knee. That would be not an unusual situation. Let me take a look at, watch Swanstrom's left plant foot and knee right there. He doesn't look like he did anything particularly dramatic, but obviously he's feeling it.
Well, and the interesting thing, too, is, you probably mom and dad are a little nervous when a guy, 140-pounder, out there playing football.
Yeah.
And you're thinking he's going to get, maybe get hit. But instead it happens just kicking that ball. And it did look like his last step, like his foot, everything wasn't quite, synced up there. Like he did start to.
And he got the ball
balance
inside the 10-yard line. So
yeah,
he got a pretty good hit on the ball. But that is not good to see, especially see your kicker going down on a non-contact leg injury.
Not sure. Yeah, they're bringing the card out. That's what I was thinking that they might be waiting on us.
That must be a lot more serious than it surely looked on the video.
Oh, now the card's leaving, so perhaps. So unfortunate to see young guy Evan Swanstrom in a little bit of pain. And again, like we said, it must be something that they're, hesitant to move him too.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a timeout as they tend to Evan here. We will come back with more. 14-0 Champlin Park, our score early on here in the fourth quarter.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Welcome back here. Evan Swanstrom, they got him up and onto that cart and put one of the immobilizers on. You can see he's a tear or two shed here tonight. Is not feeling good and getting some encouragement there. And I think sometimes it's a couple things. I mean, it's pain, but also just disappointment that, that you're going to miss the rest of the night and probably some more based on what we're seeing there. So we wish Evan well here.
They've got the full leg brace on there, so it indicates to me there's some kind of a knee injury. And as you said, Jay, that's sad indeed.
So guys on both teams kind of regroup here and get ready and get back to action here. We're early in the fourth quarter. Osseo has the football at their 25-yard line. Ethan Witcher at quarterback after Smith was injured. Blanchette taking the handoff, weaving his way through some traffic and out to the 30 or perhaps just beyond as a gain of about 5. He's quietly put some decent runs together here for the Orioles. Unofficially 27 yards rushing now. But all in all, they just haven't been consistent in getting anything.
No, they really haven't been able to put 3, 4, 5 first downs together. They haven't been able to establish any real rhythm with either the running or the passing game. And that's really, kind of hurt them tonight because while they get a few good plays, they're not getting them consistently.
Kapitsky with a nice open field stop on Zamir Johnson there, and only a gain of about 2. So 3rd down and 3 coming up here for the Orioles. Pretty important. I mean, getting to the point where they may not get the ball back much, so important 3rd down to try and convert here for Osseo. Witcher's going to run it, and Graham meets him and will drive him back, so that one will leave them with no gain, and 4th down coming up. Boy, do you consider going here at this, considering score and time and everything?
I think not, because there's still 9.5 or 9 minutes to go in the game. You don't want to give up a 3rd touchdown. You don't want to give up a 3rd score in any way. So, you know, as you say, geez, we need to keep the ball, but now you've got to punt it away and try to play a little bit of a field position battle.
Travis in punt formation. Oh, did they get a piece of this one? I think so. Maybe not, but ball didn't go too far, and it will be down at the 43-yard line. Rebels breaking in, and it seems as though Tyler Hansen indicating that he might have gotten a piece of that one. It was a high snap. Travis is a very tall punter, obviously, but he had to go up off his feet a little bit, and see if the guy in white, number 9 here, does get a piece of that one. I think he might have.
And he must have gotten a piece of it, because he also got a piece of the kicker.
Yeah, I was looking around and to see if any official. Yeah, it sure looks like he must have blocked that one a little bit.
Because the ball certainly took an odd flight and was spinning in an odd direction. So
Rebels are going to stick with that power T look here coming back, as it worked so well last time, and now you're protecting the lead too. You might as well
just jam the ball now.
Schornstein running it, and he ran right over the top of a tackler there, and will pick up 5 or so on that one. If you're just joining us, Rebels had not gone to this formation until the last time they got the ball, and they proceeded to just march right down the field and score.
And just keeping the ball right on the ground, handing it to one of the halfbacks or the fullback. And
I'll tell you what else it kind of does too. I don't know that this is front and center for doing it, but it keeps Toki from getting some of these hits that he had been taking a little bit earlier in the game too.
Yep. Yeah, all he's doing is turning and hand the ball off.
This time they go to Heinen, and Shandon Anderson wrapped him up. Those are the kind that you don't have time to make any moves or anything. You just go straight forward, and if the guy in front of you isn't blocked, it's going to be hard to get much, and that was the case there.
But Shandon Anderson is the safety, and you cannot depend on your safety to be making tackles on the line of scrimmage. That's going to come back to really haunt you at some point. The other thing that this does is it tells whoever Champlin Park is playing next week, now they've got to prepare for this.
Schornstein takes the handoff here. Got a decent gainer, and will have enough for the first down, thrown down by Michael Williams, but not before he picks up that first down, and that's what they're looking for now. I mean, yeah, you'd love to score again, but you'd also love to just keep advancing the ball and chew up the rest of the clock.
Yep. You got about 6.5 minutes, and if you take your full 40 seconds every play, it doesn't, it chews up just a ton of clock.
First down and 10 at the Osseo 32. Russell cut down by Donato there, but he will pick up a couple. At least so far, Champlin Park keeping this pretty basic. We're not seeing the sleight of hand that you see from Elk River or Lakeville South. They may be, just kind of a smaller package of this look.
Yeah, it looks to me like this was just a power run package that they decided to put in and say, okay, well, at some point when things aren't going well. We're just going to do this and see what happens. And lo and behold, they've been pretty successful with it.
Oh, ball dropped by Toki this time, though, and he has to get on top of it. And they'll lose a yard or so. So 3rd and long now for Champlin Park. Maybe 3rd and 10 as he actually lost a couple.
Oh boy, that ball just popped right out of his hand as he was stepping away. He didn't get a good handle on it when he pulled away from the center.
So 3rd and 10 here for CP. See if they have any throwing looks out of this. Yep, they do. Here's Tilke rolling out to his left. He'll throw deep downfield. He's got his man Hansen, and he's out of bounds, but he will have a 1st and goal coming up down at about the 4-yard line. You're selling out to stop run, and then this happens.
You know, pretty well faked on the counter, and Hansen is all by himself out there. This is a problem when you have a safety who wants to come up and make a tackle, is that he's not there for the pass defense.
1st and goal from the 4. Schornstein. And pushes forward. He's just short of the end zone, it looks like. He'll bring up a 2nd down and goal here for CP. Trying to put this one away. They lead 14-0, under 5 minutes to go, and trying to stretch it to a 3-score lead.
And 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line.
Officials timeout. Another football got out onto the field from some, I think, from youth players back there.
The kids playing in the back of the end zone there.
And it's going to be Tilke with the sneak, and no signal yet. Wow, it doesn't look like they're giving it to him.
Nope.
I thought he was going to get there easy, but
good penetration underneath by number 92. That's Masood Shakali. Masood Shakali getting there and making a nice pile up right there at the goal line. But it's now 3rd and goal.
Oh, Champlin Park. Well, let's see. It looks like this one is going to be against Osseo, though.
Really? Oh.
So half the distance to the goal. Will just kind of slide the football forward a little bit. Didn't really hurt him there. Schornstein going to leap up and reach the ball out, and he is in for the touchdown. And so the Rebels stretch the lead out to 20-0 as Brady Schornstein reaching it up and over the top. And now we have an injury again for Osseo here.
They've had some injuries today.
Well, Schornstein had the interception earlier in the game in his primary spot on defense, and then now he's come in and been able to pick up a touchdown rush in the ball. And the same as for Heinen, he had a couple good defensive plays and gets called on in the backfield. Injured player for Osseo there is Jalen Antavangsa.
So he took a shot in the ribs.
So he's able to make his way up and off the field here. So kicking the extra point this time will be Fitzgerald, of course, with Swanstrom getting hurt. Fitzgerald's been their kickoff man, but it had been Swanstrom doing the place kicking, but he got injured. Fitzgerald booting this one up, and it is good. And so 3:48 to go in the fourth quarter, and it's now 21-0 Champlin Park.
The ninth grader does a good job. We see Schoenstrom getting right up and over.
Ball came out, but he was already in. That's the part that coaches kind of cringe about a little bit when you're up and reaching the ball is if that happened before he was over the line, they would have been trouble, but so Champlin Park trying to go to 2-1 and looking like they'll do so here. Yeah. In typical honest coach fashion, Nick Keenan said, God, that loss to Anoka just stuck with me the whole next week. He said, he
was really not pleased with it.
He did not like that.
No.
And then coming back with a very good comeback against Maple Grove in week number 2. And then tonight, there were some hits and misses, and I don't think they would overall say they played a great game, but definitely well enough to win and pulling away down the stretch.
Yeah, their defense has been very solid the entire game, and eventually gave their offense a chance to do something.
Farley on the return, stopped short of the 25-yard line. Be interesting to see now if Osseo, at this point, do you open it up and try and take some chances, or do you realize that you got to stick with what you do, and even if it means that you're going to run out of time to break anything big?
Right, and I think what you have to do, particularly as a coach, you have to say, we need to do what we're capable of doing. We can't do things that we're just not capable of, because then they're just not going to be successful and you're going to end up being frustrated.
Oh, Graham almost picked that one off. Witcher throwing out into the flat. Graham read it all the way but couldn't quite bring it in. And he had visions of walking into the end zone there.
Yep.
I think he's had a nice game.
He's had a very good game. Both these linebackers are very solid, and Graham's been all over the field tonight.
So 2nd down and 10. Witcher firing. That one is complete. Heinen lowering the boom quickly there on the receiver Blanchette. And so they will get just a few.
Going to get about 3 or 4 yards here. But Heinen right on top of it makes a play for no yards after catch.
So a 3rd down and 7 as we go under 3 minutes to play in this one. Witcher stepping up, got through the first tackler, but not past Graham, who drops him at the 30, and he's loving it. It was actually a pretty good elusive play to get away from that first guy.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting out of the pocket and into the open field, but Graham just ran him down before he could even make a move. And with about 2 minutes to go, I think we'll see Champlin Park just pull their horns in, and unless Osseo gets a first down here.
Orioles will be back home again next Friday as they play host to Blaine. And meanwhile, for Champlin Park on the road again next Friday as they'll be taking on Coon Rapids.
That could be an interesting game. Coon Rapids kind of found themselves against Osseo.
By the way, we got to make mention of the new digs here at Osseo. They completed the new bleachers, and then this week the press box was put in, and some fine accommodations here. Got our own little booth, and there's a look at it.
Press box, absolutely. Champlin Park.
And now the Rebels will take a timeout here.
I think they were expecting a punt. They had everybody in for a punt return, and
these are the kind of plays where you say you still coach the same. Yeah, it's 21-0. Is it really going to matter? But you don't think that way as a coach. I mean, you still want everything to be done well. You want it to be treated as though the game's on the line for either side right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Witcher will come up under center here. Stumbled a little bit coming out, and he got away. Heinen had him briefly. Now throws it on the run, and it'll be incomplete. And
Witcher he really worked to get out of this trap. Boy, he had Heinen in his face right now. He does a nice job to get to a point where he can even throw the football. I got to give him some credit on that.
So Rebels will get it back at the Osseo 30. Only 2:12 to go.
And Osseo can only stop the clock once. So I would not be surprised to see Champlin Park just run the clock out here, even just take a knee the whole way here.
Going to hand it to Russell up the middle. And he will be close to another first down here. He does get 10 out of it. They went away from the T look this time as well, and back to a more spread look and handing it off up the middle, just trying to put the finishing touches on this one. I don't think now they could definitely kneel, but we'll see.
Yeah, they've got 3 downs to work with. They don't even if Osseo takes the timeout, they still run the clock. They just need to take a knee.
And they hand it off though to Russell, and he is thrown down. Should be under a minute by the time the next play happens. Osseo does not look like they're intending to use a timeout. No real reason to at this point.
This is where you just take a knee and run the clock out.
Coming up here in the next week or so is volleyball action on Wednesday night. Providence Academy hosting Minnehaha. Then soccer doubleheader, Maple Grove, Champlin Park. Those could be pretty decent games. And then our football next week is Totino Grace and Benilde. And then a great matchup in volleyball the week after that. 2 of the best in the state. Tucker takes the handoff here, and that might looks like they might have to snap it once more.
I'm a little surprised that they're snapping the ball and taking a handoff. We've seen the ball get dropped a couple of times. I think it's expeditious to just take a knee and let the clock run out and get on the bus and go home.
Be a fun bus ride when you win, and it's also a fun bus ride when it's only like 5 minutes.
That's right.
I was talking to Nick Keenan, the Rebels coach, prior to the season, and he said we were talking about schedule, and he said, I'm really glad to see Osseo and to see Champlin, or Coon Rapids back on our schedule, because they're basically schools that border us. We feels like we should be playing them, and now this year they are.
You'd think geographically it would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, and just some of the changes with switching to district schedules. They've been trying to balance out schedules well and everything. That handoff taken by Victor Nguva for Champlin Park, and that should be the final play of the game. As the Rebels score late in the first half and then tack on a couple touchdowns in the fourth quarter to pull away for a 21-0 win here. And again, Bill, I don't think they would say a perfect performance by any means, but good enough to win a football game, and did some things well.
Yeah, and they showed some resiliency, and I think that's what as a coach, you're looking for that. If you want to win even when you don't play your best football. For Osseo, I think that they're going to be looking for anything that they can find as a positive here, which I think would be the fact that they stayed with it pretty well, and they handled the injuries to key people again pretty well.
Yeah, getting healthy is probably one of the key things going forward for Osseo, and they will try and get back at it as they face Blaine next week. Well, thank you so much to both coaches. Thank you to Bill Kwan, the Osseo Activities Director, kept us updated all week on the progress of the press box and all that kind of good stuff. And thanks to you for watching. For Bill Hunstock and the rest of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Final in this one tonight, Champlin Park 21, Osseo 0.